Hi, welcome to the Art Labor Artist Talk. I'm Martin Kemble. I'd like to introduce the art of one of our artists we represent, Ying Yefu. He is one of the brightest stars of his generation and generally considered to be reinventing the gongbi ink painting style, which is a traditional Chinese art form involving very, very fine-lined ink on paper done with a brush and with pen. Working in this traditional realm of gongbi ink painting, he has sought to pay tribute to his traditional past while adopting a very contemporary aesthetic rooted in the manga tradition of Japan and Korean art styles. He was discovered by us in 2007. Since then, we've had several solo shows. He's shown around the world in San Francisco. He's probably one of the few artists that in 2009, during the desperate year that followed the crash, his first ink painting solo show with us sold out in 3 weeks. Since then, he's been exclusively focused on developing his technique, improving his lines, his ink wash, his coloration, all of which have notably and almost, one might say, fantastically developed in a very short period of time. His work is rooted in a very traditional Chinese styling, yet with East Asian influences of Japanese and Korean aesthetic values. You can see Hokusai's waves in his piece, Night Walk into the Sea. How Ying Yefu stands out, though, from his contemporaries is perhaps topically, while he deals with issues of a more universal nature, these personal issues of upbringing, parenting, personal loss, his own life being kind of a struggle that he overcame. We've found that collectors around the world can identify with that personal take on things rather than the contemporary Chinese artists deal with their issues of society and the Chinese experience. And so his work bridges cultures quite effectively, and this perhaps goes some way to explaining his universal appeal and his sensational success in a very short period of time. And while it deals with these universal themes, perhaps the real genius of his work lies in his ability to express symbolically the fundamental contradictions that are sort of readily apparent in China today, or perhaps always were readily apparent to the outside China observer. Observations of Chinese character of being, very ambitious yet very modest and demonstrating humility. To the experienced China observer, you can obviously witness this sort of tension between these opposing elements that are fundamental parts of the society. In his piece, Practicing, Ying Yefu has two infant children, one shaving the other's head with a straight razor blade, which pretty much sums up the elements that are inherent in a lot of one's interaction with people in China today. It's sort of like things can be extremely sweet, but these moments are darkened by a traumatic past that never really leaves people's character here. For more information about Ying Yefu or any of our artists, please contact Art Labor Gallery. Contact Director Martin Kemble at martin@artlaborclub.com.